What's good, YouTube? This video is going to be about a common red flag that women often mistake for a good sign. Before I start this video, I just want to remind you all to know your status and the status of your partner. Please get your home health test kits and your sexual home health test kits at the sponsored link below. Please don't guess and gamble with your health. Now, this won't apply to everybody, but it will apply to a lot of people. I talk to a lot of women who find themselves to be very flattered and taken aback by a man who can't seem to keep his hands off of them and his eyes off of them, who exude a lot of sexual energy on their first or second or third date, who appear to be completely obsessed with them and figuring out about the, sexual chemistry of it all. Now, before you assume you know where I'm going with this, you don't, so stick with me here. A lot of times, a woman will feel very flattered and very honored that a man is extremely attracted to her or all over her on a date. It might be premature, but to her, it feels like chemistry, and it builds chemistry in her mind and in her heart and in her body. It builds sexual tension. So she likes it. She's all for it. She feels desire, which women want to feel. She feels appreciated, and she feels attractive. So it feels like a good thing. So a lot of times a woman will get with a guy who she's gone on maybe 1 or 2 dates with, who's extremely aggressive and extremely assertive sexually, and she doesn't feel threatened, so she's okay with it. And she thinks it's a good sign. We have a lot of chemistry. We can't keep our eyes off of each other. We can't keep our hands off of each other. I kept having to stop it. It was wonderful. It was awesome. I felt so sexy. Blah, blah, blah. Listen, if you're tired of being cheated on, if you're tired of being lied to, if you're tired of being misused in relationships, this is something you need to pay attention to for a completely different reason than you're assuming I'm about to say. Sometimes when a man is all over you, especially on the first or second date, he's prematurely made advancements for you. It doesn't mean he's taking charge. It doesn't mean he's assertive and confident. I mean, those things could be true, but it also could be a display of his lack of self-control. A lot of you are tired of being cheated on by the guys you date, but the guys you pick are the guys who are the most sexually aggressive with you. Every guy you choose has to make the first move in the perfect time. Every guy you choose has to make you feel attractive and sexy on your date by responding to your sexuality immediately. Every guy you choose because he feels more masculine and makes you feel like a sexy woman, through his advancements, through his attraction expressed early on. That's why so many of you text guys back after you get D pics. After guys say disrespectful shit to you, you continue talking to them. You try to softly correct them if you acknowledge it at all, because you feel desired and desire feels good. The problem is this: a man who doesn't have enough control not to advance you sexually on the first date or attempt to, if you're not the one initiating it or inviting it. A man who doesn't have enough control, a man who doesn't have enough self-control not to send you inappropriate pictures or to start sexting you out of nowhere when you've been having normal conversations and you're really not there yet. You're not close enough to be there yet. A man who's putting his lack of self-control on display isn't to be rewarded with sexuality and emotional advancement. You're seeing his lack of self-control and you're thinking it's you, but it's not. A man who doesn't have enough self-control to at least mask his horny when appropriate, especially when you're not familiar with each other. A man who doesn't have enough self-control not to send inappropriate pics or not to try to start sexting you immediately isn't showing you that he wants you, that he's attracted to you, that he desires you. He's not showing you how sexy you are, though you might take it that way. He's not necessarily even caring about building chemistry with you. This is how he is with women. This is how he is when he's horny. He lacks self-control. Too many of y'all have a man that doesn't have any self-control. You chose him for his lack of self-control, and then you're curious and confused about how he ends up cheating on you so many times. So many of you are dating serial cheaters, and you're in the first date or the second date, and you don't realize it yet. All you think is, damn, he wants me so bad, I gotta hold him off. He doesn't know you. I mean, and you could be fine, but other women are fine. So if that's all it takes for a man to come out of his body and start acting in a way that could be perceived as threatening, he's not giving you his interest for you most of the time. This is just how he deals with women who allow this behavior. A good man, a decent man, a wise man, a thoughtful man, a smart man, a man of integrity and intention and character is going to watch his moves and his steps with a new woman. He's too cautious not to make certain impressions and to do certain damage. But a man who doesn't care or think about any of the other realities outside of his attraction to you while he's on a date with you, especially if it's the first date or second date, is just displaying his lack of self-control, which ultimately translates into a lack of self-control with temptation. He's not protecting himself against you. He doesn't know if you have anything. He's just going to jump in bed with you. Y'all not even going to have a conversation. He's trying to go from shaking your hand to shaking your bed in the first night. You feel desired, it feels wonderful, until he's doing that with the girl down the street and the next door neighbor and your cousin. What women need to start looking for in men is a sense of their self-control. Sometimes a man being all over you isn't a green flag that he's attracted to you, but a red flag that he lacks judgment, that he lacks awareness, that he lacks self-control. If you want yourself a wise man, you'll get yourself a man who knows how to control his sexual urges, especially in the early dates. Not because he might have more respect for you or any of these other ideas, but the fact that if a man cannot control his sexual urges, if a man has to make a display of sexuality when he's horny, he's going to do that with other women because he can't control himself. Men get horny 100 times a day. Random women walk past a man and he starts thinking about stuff. Imagine if that man who lacks self-control gets the opportunity to express his sexuality toward a woman who's inviting, toward a woman who's not threatening, toward a woman who's okay with it. Y'all wonder how these men sleep with 10 and 15 and 20 and 35 women while they're in relationships? This is how. They lack self-control. If a man seems to be utterly and absolutely controlled by his lower half when he's on a date with you, you need to make sure that that's for you, that enthusiasm is exclusive to you, because most of the time it's not. Look for signs that a man can control his urges and make thoughtful decisions despite how he feels, especially in relationship to his sexuality. Self-control shouldn't be getting guys put in the friend zone. And the lack of self-control shouldn't be getting guys put in your heart. But that's what's happening a lot of times. Wisdom and integrity and loyalty is patient. It delays gratification. You need to be looking for signs that a man can delay gratification, that a man can control himself and his urges. I know it feels good to be desired. It feels good to be wanted, but that's not always exclusive behavior to you. You just happen to be the one in front of him. So I'm not telling you not to have sex with men. Do what you want to do, but I'm telling you to be aware that sometimes what's on display isn't a man's attraction or affinity for you, but his lack of self-control, his lack of judgment, his lack of character, and his lack of care. So do what you will with this information. I hope this helps. Follow me at KFIG24 on Instagram. I'll get with y'all later.